where we stopped the previous session. Here you have, okay, remember that you work on the International Phonetic Alphabet, which was one of the activities you should have worked on. You also work with your vocabulary charts, and you added 10 more words for the previous week. And you also came up with your thoughts regarding learning in your journal entries for the second week. One piece of homework I asked you to come up with was to investigate what the International Phonetic Alphabet is. You did a very good job, and you found that this is a kind of a standardization of sounds for languages around the world. It uses code signs, from the different alphabets, whether Latin or codes which might be familiar in an international fashion. It actually represents, sounds that can be found for human being nouns. Remember that we have different theories on how language emerged and how language was evolving through the years. One of these theories states that we human beings actually started speaking by imitation, but imitation of our environment. That is, in other words, imitation of the sounds of nature, such as the wind, the fire, the sea, animals. And this with an idea of, following the rhythm of nature, getting to understand, what is happening to us in a close relationship between the environment and ourselves. And this actually makes sense, because the environment is, very important for some cultures, for some languages, where people situate themselves according, to location, according to our place in the world. And it's very interesting to take a look at, some cultures such as the Mexican ones, thinking of Mayas, where we actually started moving around by means of numbers such as 0, or other cultures where they greet themselves by instead of saying hello, they say, where are you going, or where are you? I'm talking about the African tribes, and well, it's one of the theories. Theory, where there is an innate, an inner ability to develop language, which is called innatism. And we have this, language acquisition device in our brains, which is likely to develop language, but it's, an instinct, and we have the ability already. It's part of the collective memory, according to this theory, and we can actually see a couple of linguists, such as this paramount and very well-known scholar, Noam Chomsky, who at the beginning of his work stated that we had this, device in our brain. And the device, is likely to develop language regardless of your background, regardless of, your context and situation, you develop language. However, this implies, a couple of let's say more theories, hypotheses. It implies a couple of hypotheses and situations such as, well, the critical period hypothesis, where we human beings at a very early age, such as childhood, from let's say 2 to 5 year old, a person who's a 5 year old might develop issues of pronunciation, issues of accent, which is very different. We're going to check it in a moment. Issues of intonation, imitation of a native speaker mode, can only happen, at certain stages in childhood. Once you leave out this stage, you're not able to develop it. Well, that's according to this, it's an implication. It's an implication of this theory of the language acquisition device. And well, it's very controversial because there is another theory that states that language takes place by means of interaction and social interaction, interaction with more knowledgeable peers. And well, there are some cases, situations which have been studied, they have been investigated, and there are a couple of research and data on how social interaction um, impacted, a couple of cases. We have these cases of people who are called feral children. If you have the opportunity to watch a documentary, you can find it there to YouTube. I'm gonna share the link with you after the session anyways. It's some cases of children who had no social interaction at all. Children who had no emotions towards other human beings, and how they actually develop their very own way to communicate, their own language. With no social interaction, we human beings are really likely to develop a very different approach for life, which makes us different from other animals. So it's very interesting to reflect and shed light on language acquisition theories and also on language learning theories. And this International Phonetic Alphabet actually enhances reflection because we were talking about English as a lingua franca last time, as a global language. And this is actually an attempt to develop an international, well-known and feasible way to develop language, regardless of the language we are trying to learn. In this case, it's English, okay? And let's check a couple of things regarding your homework. Many learners find the International Phonetic Alphabet an effective tool for developing soft skills. It could be helpful for you, it could, as long as you know how to use it. If you focus on the meaning of each of the codes, you're likely to reproduce sounds by means of practice. Because it's a, very elaborate work. You need to work on your muscles, your cheeks. You need to work on your throat, your tongue, how to move your tongue, your lips, even your teeth. your stomach. But it's good because you can record yourself in front of the screen and you can listen to yourself, which is very important. You listen to the sounds you reproduce and you produce, and you look at yourself, how your muscles move. And then you compare, with English native speakers in order to practice and try to exercise your muscles, because we were made, well, you were made to speak in Spanish. If you want to produce English related sounds, you need to work on your muscles, you need to work on the parts of your body, and also you need to work on your listening skills, how they sound and how you recognize your very own sounds. Okay. It says here that English pronunciation and working on that might help you standardize your accent, but this is very important for discussion. Okay, to what extent can accent be learned? Well, it can't. It cannot be taught. Accent is a natural skill we develop through time by means of comprehensible input, that is, by social interaction in a context where language is the main vehicle of communication, in this case, English. Some people, you might have this a very good example of some people who have been living in Mexico for more than 20 years, and let's say Brazilian people can actually acquire accent, and they have lived for more than 20 years in Mexico. They have this Portuguese accent and they cannot help it. Well, it's just because they don't have the ability, they don't have the skill. And again, to what extent is it important to develop accent? Well, it's not important, and that's why it says neutralize your accent, because we are aiming at achieving a standardized accent. And standard English, standard English is actually academic English. Okay, because some people have the ability of imitating accent, of developing accent, British-like accent or American-like accent, which are the two main domains. But some others just will keep with their Spanish accent, and that's okay, or with their German accent, or with their Italian accent. And that's just, that's just natural, because your body was structured in order to produce your mother tongue. Then if you have the ability to develop accent, well, depends on the input you got, and the International Phonetic Alphabet might be one of the tools in order to get the input you need for working on accent, pronunciation, and different skills. Well, it's not a pair work, but in the International Phonetic Alphabet, you may have found this code, okay? This code. Can anybody tell me what this means? What code is it in the International Phonetic Alphabet? Seems to be the letter E, but backwards, right?
Yes.
What is the meaning of this?
Its name is Schwa.
Is the yeah, Victor, right? Victor, are you there?
Yes, morning.
Yeah, Victor. It's the schwa, you're right, very well. It's the schwa. It even has a name, people name This sound, it's a sound, right? It's a sound. Sometimes it's written in superscript, that is in bold. Sometimes it's in bold in the International Phonetic Alphabet to emphasize the sound. Okay, this is a special vowel sound in English. It is the symbol used to write the most common vowel in English. It is a weak vowel that is produced as a. It doesn't exist in Spanish, you know? It does not. It's an English sound, and it's the most common sound. Some people allow, deny. Well, okay, sorry. Yeah, it's the most common sound in English. You can find it almost in every single word. Okay, so it's very important to actually practice with this sound, with the schwa. People name it, you know, because it's the most common one. I think it's the only one, you know, which can be referred as, you know, with a sound. Some people want to participate. Let me check. Sorry. When you say British accent, you mean no, Cockney accent? No, of course not. You know, just imagine when I'm referring to accent. I don't know if you are from Mexico City, but if you go to Mexico City, I mean the city, you may find issues of accent in every single neighborhood. So in Mexico City, we have for about, let's say, 100 variations of accent, you know. Um, and then, you know, I also ask you for a piece of homework related to discriminating dialect and slang. And some of you did it, you know, I was checking that. Yeah, I was checking your homework. And basically, you know, it's the variation of a language according to the territory and the and sharing with people, you know, people from Monterrey, let's say Mexico, speak with a different intonation and with different words than people from Jalapa, right? Who speak in a different manner with a different rhythm, you know. Yeah, jalapeños, you know, Jalapa, people from Jalapa speak, you know, from the top to the bottom, right? And the people from Chetumal in Mexico, because I've been there, speak, you know, in a wavy manner, you know. So those are variations of language. But you know, the when I refer to accent and regarding L2 learning and L2 or L2 acquisition, because it's different, I was referring to general concepts, you know, not a specific one from the UK or a specific one from the United States. It's just the general idea of accent, American accent, and regarding spelling, it's, you know, one of the most common ones. Or British accent, yeah. But if you want to be specific, well, come on. Just in London, you have for about 300 different accents, and one of them is Cockney accent, of course. But you have, if you go to, let's say, if you go to Manchester, they got a very specific accent. If you go to Liverpool, they have another different accent. If you go to Southampton, they have a different accent. So even if you move from one neighborhood to another, they have a different accent. And for British people, accent, you know, it's a source of inspiration, you know, a source of proud. While here in Mexico we have, identity construction. It's a little bit different. Okay, but when I was referring to accent, I was referring to the general affair and the general idea of accent, whether British and American, because we have many other variations such as Australian or accent from New Zealand or South Africa. The most common ones are British and American. Even if you go to the United States and you share your life with people from Tennessee, well, your accent is going to be, somehow adapted to that specific context. While if you go to, let's say, New York, right, it's going to be a little bit different. Well, we were focused on the schwa. Okay, let's see. Let's share a couple of definitions and affairs related to the schwa. The schwa and the vowel sound of schwa is important in English. And you can actually dimension the importance of the vowel sound because it's got its very own name. It's called the schwa. Okay, it's a weak vowel sound using many unstressed syllables in the English language. For example, the word computer has a schwa in the first syllable. Okay, it's not com, it's not come, it's come. Native speakers don't pronounce the O vowel in the first syllable. But they made the vowel weak. It becomes a very weak. Another good example is the word today. Native speakers don't pronounce the first vowel as O. They use the weak vowel schwa, so it sounds more like today. Today. In some words, schwa is written in small text and in bold. You can see a couple of examples in the following link. I don't know if you want to type it and try it out. Type it and try it out. You will see the example of the word family. Okay, type it and go there. Soften it. When schwa is written in superscript, it's very, very weak. And some speakers will even omit just the example of the word family. Okay. If you look for the codes, check these are the codes in the International Phonetic Alphabet, you will be able to identify the sounds with the codes. And then, to omit the ones you should, or to pronounce it accurately and fluently as well. Family. This is just an example of how the schwa might work in superscript or in bold. Give you a couple of minutes for you to go to the Cambridge Dictionary and to check how, family might be. There are some variations, by the way, okay? It's important to let you know this. When you look up a word in a dictionary, it depends on the dictionary, the way it's gonna be represented by sounds, okay? Because dictionaries have variations. Just because some of them are British and some others are American. And we even have, dictionaries from Australia. So it might vary a little bit. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of water. For example, the word computer. This, if you look it up in a British dictionary, you will find the schwa sound here and the schwa sound at the end. But if you look it up in an American dictionary, you will only find the schwa here. So they may vary according to territory. No? Okay. Okay. Next. One more activity. This is gonna be for homework, okay? You're going to look up 10 words which have got the schwa sound. You can use any dictionary, but please give the source, okay? This is the source, okay? This is the source. Provide with the source where you look it up. You're going to do the same, whether Cambridge or no. Who's doing that, by the way? I'm sorry. Somebody's there. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, you need to provide with the source of information. Okay, the source of the source of the dictionary. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're going to look up 10 words which have got the schwa sound. Then let's listen to the schwa sounds here in bold. Okay. Yeah. Well, before we continue, I want to share a couple of web pages with you. I'm gonna stop sharing the presentation. Wait. Hold on.
I mean,
you
can write down the web pages in the chat.
Yeah, but I just want you to check it, you know. That's why I stopped sharing the presentation. Just be patient. Wait. Check it out. You able to check it? Yeah, of course I'm gonna share it there in the chat as well. Good idea. Good idea, Alfredo. Yeah. Wait a sec. Well, in a minute. Okay, check it out. It's the International Phonetic Chart with sounds. Here you have. Of course, you need to read a lot. You need to study the chart. You need to study, you know, what from, near from, central, near back, close, open mind, because the sounds are discriminated. You know, they are discriminated according to the movements of your body and the sounds they come up. Check it out. Just listen. Uh-huh. So it needs your revision by all means, of course. Then you can find consonants or fricatives where other symbols, yeah, affricates, etc. So this is for you to study, okay, with sounds. But then you have another one. Check it out. This is speech active. This is another one where you're able, well, you need to read it carefully. You're able to record yourself and to practice with the specific sounds. Let's say this one, which is, you know, a little bit difficult. Let me go back. I want it to be oh my God. Well, and then you record yourself. Yeah. Just for example, head, pet, mes, tip. And well, you might continue with the others, you know, which are very useful for you for practicing. Here you have more sounds, cop, pork, horse, porn, more sounds, you know. Okay, so you might find it useful for practicing with your very own. I'm gonna share with you there. Hold on. Stop sharing. Wait a sec. Show conversation. Uh-oh. Here you have. There you go. I think I did it already. I just need to share the first one. There you go. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, this is a little bit slow, but anyways. Okay. Well, the activity, yeah. You have the example here. You have the links for listening to a native speaker producing the sounds. I also added a video. I'm gonna share the links with you in a moment. But here you can find a very good example of how many times you can find the schwa sound in a single sentence. Check, present, for, brother, about, wizard, or here, survive, the, weather, to, thorough, preparations. So you can find the schwa sound many times in a single sentence, almost in every single word in English. So it's very important to practice with the schwa. People at elementary school, you know, when they're in primary schools, well, they are taught to work on the schwa and to identify the sound, you know. I'm talking about English speaking context, of course, you know. Well, I'm gonna share these links for you to practice by your own in a minute. Now, homework number 2. You're going to design 15 flashcards. 5 flashcards with the schwa sound, 5 flashcards with a different sound. You decide the one you want to work on, and 5 more with a different one. You can work on the sounds that we just check in the web page or any other, the ones you want to work on, the ones you want to practice with. Okay. You could also, you know, find it useful to record the words you're learning in your vocabulary charts, you know, just to keep on going with your 3rd week, 10 more words. Now that we're talking about the flashcards, yeah, I was kind of checking your work. Well, they are really useful, okay, but they are not enough, and that's why we are working, you know, we're working with different ways of recording words, storing words, remembering words, using the words. One of them is the vocabulary chart. Another is, you know, the flashcards themselves, and the use of a journal as well, you know, if it is written in English. And also, we're about to discover how to employ memory-related strategies. Eventually, we'll study and shed light on cognitive strategies. Yeah, on cognitive strategies. Wait a sec. Well, I think, yeah, I think I know one place. I think I know one place where you can add sound to your flashcards. I'm not sure because I can't remember very well. Canva is one of them. Yeah, Canva. And as far as I remember, Readlang. Yeah, but you should explore the web pages so that you can actually figure it out. Okay. Oh no, not in Canva. Well, maybe Readlang. Yeah, let's give it a go. Or you can solve the net. If we solve the net, I will do it at the end of the presentation. We're gonna find it. Yeah, just Google it. Yeah, Google is the master. You know, Google has got all the answers. We're gonna Google it and we'll find, you know, a couple of options for you. Well, I'm sorry. And where was I? Ah, yeah. Okay.
Teacher Cliserio?
Yeah.
And do we add them to the previous task?
Sorry? You repeat
Do
that?
we add them to the previous task?
Add them to the previous task.
The flashcards.
And which one are you referring to? Which one is the previous task?
Las flashcards anteriores. ¿O es un nuevo documento?
Well, it's up to you. You can modify the same file or you can create a new one as long as it is in the folder.
Okay.
Same with the others. I mean, you can create different files or you can work on the same one as long as you have it in the folder. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I lost my train of thoughts again. I don't know where it was. Where was I? Can anybody help me? Where was I? I was trying to.
You were about to start the next slide.
Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, was not concentrated, but yeah, okay. It's good for you to practice with flashcards, but it's not enough because you need to have different ways for remembering words. I know. And we're about to check memory related strategies. Okay. And we're going to explore memory related strategies and different ways for you to learn words. Okay. These are just two examples, flashcards and the vocabulary chart and your journal, 3 examples. But eventually we'll find out how we can memorize words. Okay, but it's not about memorizing, you know. I will provide with a different strategy, which is learning chunks of words rather than isolated words, you know, lexis in an integrated way. It's not the same to learn, for example, home, and you say, okay, home, the idea of a integrated place, room, for sharing emotions, for sharing life with people or with your pets, or house, you know, the structure of a building where you live, than to learn to go home or stay home or to go to your house. Those are chunks of words, those are collocations, and those are different strategies for learning words in chunks, you know, in a meaningful way. And, you know, you're working on lexis with a lexical approach, and you're working also with grammar, you know, with structure. We're going to check it in detail in a couple of sessions, of course. But what I'm trying to get at is that we have different means in different approaches in order to memorize words. Okay, one of them is to be totally cognitive, totally direct, and another one is to do it in a transversal manner. Okay, when you learn a new word, you need to look at the place where the word is in a sentence, of course, to look at different words that typically appear with it, and that's, you know, what my example was trying to provide with, such as you know, let's say get, you know, a phrasal verb, for example. A phrasal verb, it's very difficult to memorize, but if you try to get meaning by means of comparing the particles, get at, or get over, or get through, you know, or get in, of course the meaning is gonna change, but you cannot learn the words separated. You know, you need to link them, they need to be joined. So what you need to do is to create patterns by your own. You know, it's just like a semantic field, options and facts. We have a guidebook there. You know, I share it to Google Drive folders. You can find it there, and you can find a section that is related to grammar and how to learn grammar by means of patterns, options, and facts, and it's close related to lexis. You also need to ask yourself when learning new words, at least new for you, what is the context of the word and whether it's following high or low register. Is the word used in formal contexts or in informal contexts? Is it used for written or for spoken language? When or where would it be suitable to use the word? Okay. And this is also related to one piece of homework I ask you to come up with, which is what is slang, right? What types of words are known as slang, and what is the register of slang words? When is it suitable to use them, and what are they useful for? You know, all these elements are gonna be key elements, you know, affairs, important affairs for you to identify the context clues, and eventually, you know, when sitting for certification exams or when having real conversations with native speakers, deduce meaning or infer meaning. Because, you know, honestly, give you my word, it's impossible to learn all the words of the English language. You continue learning, you know, throughout time, all the time. Language changes, you know, language is alive, and it's impossible to learn all the words. Of course, you can deduce them. Yeah, that's something you can develop, and you can infer meaning when you are having conversations with native speakers, you know, because you will spend your whole life trying to understand every single word, and you will understand most of them. It depends a lot on, you know, the people you interact with. But if you go to university for a postgraduate degree, a master's or a PhD abroad, you will see that there are certain words which you continue learning, you know, and you can deduce, and then you appropriate meaning. Of course, you learn them eventually, but you will always face new words, you know, because language is evolving all the time, and it depends a lot on the territory you're placed. So deduction skills are very important, you know. inference is also paramount for language learners, and it has to do with both cognitive and metacognitive strategies. Once you learned a word, once you deduce, you infer, you use the word, you are likely to keep it there for your own purposes in a meaningful manner, you know, which is what some scholars call lifelong learning. Well, here you have a very straightforward exercise for deduction and following your logic, you know. Let's say we complete this chart for an exercise in elementary English A2 level. My name is Glicerio. I'm a student. I want to go to university. I'm from Jalapa. It's in Veracruz. I was born in Mexico. Or you might change it. My name's Antonio. I'm a professor. I want to go abroad. I'm from the UK. It's in Europe. I was born in Southampton. And you might change it, you know. So whenever you identify the first syllables or the first particles of a sentence, you are actually deducing meaning at the very beginning. You know, I can still remember when I went abroad and I made a lot of mistakes, you know. I actually faced a lot of difficulties. I had communication constraints regarding culture but you know, to focus on sounds, you know, I faced a lot of constraints, and one strategy that really helped me a bunch was to listen carefully to the first particles of a sentence. And then, you know, eventually I became capable of, you know, deducing the speech and following the logic of a speech, you know, because of course, conversations are somehow a negotiation, you know. Whenever you're stuck, you stop people and you say, can you repeat that again? Sorry, didn't follow you. Or can you repeat that with different words? It's a negotiation in the end. But eventually you need to get used to the way they speak. And a very good strategy in order to follow and to keep up with the rhythm of their speech is to focus on the first section of a sentence. And then of course, you know that if my name's, you're going to find a name, you know, you might find a profession there, or, you know, a description of a person, you know, and you start connecting language, you know, to go home, to go abroad, to go to university in an automatic, you know, in a self-directed way. Instead of identifying particle by particle, you go for messages, for meaning. I'm from, well, you're gonna find the place it's in, you might find the context it was born in, you might find the specific territory. And this is very straightforward, of course. This is very easy. You do it, you're gonna do it at the beginning of your BA, or you already did it, most of you, because you're quite competent. But when you find more complex sentences, more complex conversations, academic conversations, wow, it does make a difference, you know. And a very good example of that, you know, a proof of that are certification exams. The CAE, for example, proficiency exams, where you need to certify your language skills. Wow, it's quite complex, you know, it's quite difficult. And following the first section of a sentence is a very good strategy, believe me. It works. Okay, wait, next. Task-based strategies. Task-based strategies are part of a file I shared in the drive, in the folders to drive. You can go there to readings and you're gonna find a file. Okay, I'm gonna show you that in a minute. Well, task-based strategies are related to what you do while learning and your awareness of learning. One of the strategies for task-based, which is an approach, is to use your previous knowledge of language. Okay, and what is to use your previous knowledge of language? For example, if you find the word computer, you have previous knowledge because of the roots of the word. Yeah, and I'm focusing on vocabulary, but this has also the different skills implications. So you use what you previously know and what you heard on television, what you have seen in advertisements, what you have faced previously, in order to continue constructing and deconstructing language. So your schemata, your previous knowledge is very important for learning different information. To be creative, to use your imagination has to do with your openness, with your freedom to start thinking in a different manner. Some people say to speak a second language is to have a second soul. Okay. It was an ancient Roman emperor, you know, I can't remember who, but I will. This might mean that you have a different approach to life, okay? You can't think the same. So learning a second language or acquiring it changes your perspective, changes your way of thinking, totally. Because it's a different perception, it's a different insight into the world. So you need to use your imagination, you need to be creative in order to understand a second culture, which is part of the unit regarding the course. Okay, to be creative, to use your imagination also has to do with the struggle between your logical thinking and, you know, trying out language in an unconscious way. Yeah, sometimes you need reasons, you need explanations in order to keep on learning. It's a must for you because of your way of thinking, because of your learning style, because your personality type demands explanation. But there's so many situations. There's so many situations in which you need to be trusting your imagination, trusting, you know, your gut feeling, because that's the way language works, you know, and that's the way some approaches suggest. But of course, it's a matter of patience, it's a matter of identifying your own, and it's a matter of experiencing, you know, facing the situations. Organizational skills. Well, these skills are also known as metacognitive skills. They have to do with the place where you learn, how you like to learn, how you design your charts, if you like to use colors, or if you rather go for an Excel chart, or if you find it more comfortable to study in your bedroom, or if you identify that you like to study in the evening, or if you schedule your activities orderly, you know, or if you do it just by improvisation, organizational skills become a language learner, a systematic person. Okay, they are important, you know, they are really useful, and we're going to check them eventually with metacognitive skills. A variety of resources, yeah, it's, you know, quite relevant, and that's why we have different evidence for the course. Variety of tasks, variety of formative evaluation, you know, what some people might call a portfolio. This is formative evaluation aims at using a variety of resources for studying, for learning, for evaluation, etc. Go to, go to, you will need to go to the Google Drives folder called reading. Okay, there in the folder reading you will find a file. You will find a file which is about task-based strategies and metacognitive strategies. What I want you to do is to read it. It's very short, you know. I think it's 3 sheets long or 4 sheets long, but they are charts, you know, it's really friendly. Read it and design a chart on how you will organize your language learning this term at school. Okay, you will see an sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of water. You will be able to see an example there in the file. Okay, after watching this, after seeing the example, sorry, after studying the example, try to come up with your very own chart on how you will organize your language learning. This is a first attempt for working on organizational skills, metacognitive skills. Strategies. Well, I think it's a good opportunity to show you this. Hold on. I'm gonna share the drive. Hold on. International Phonetic Alphabet, no. But here we have learning strategies here. Wait a sec. Here you go to readings. Readings. Can you see readings? And here you have defining and organizing language learning strategies. You click it twice. This is going to be the first reading. And there you have. It's about organizational strategies and metacognitive strategies. You will see the strategies for learners, you know, rather than teachers. Learning strategies for instruction, organization, evaluation, management. And a figure that explains how metacognitive strategies work, what you know, your imagination, your organization, variety of resources. Okay, and here you have a strategy, organize, plan, description, etc. If you also explore, you know, well, I don't know if I shared that, but I will. Okay, no, forget about it. Task-based strategies, variety of resources, cooperate. Think of your context, okay? Be aware of the fact that you're learning online. Your chart is gonna be very specific. But try to use your imagination and stay the way you are to work, the way you are to enhance your own strategies, the ones you are going to read here, and design a chart, which is going to be similar to this or different. It depends on your style, of course, depends on your style. Where you organize your learning in terms of strategies, okay? Not content. It's not how you're going to learn passive voice or how you're going to learn the verb to be. No, it's a kind of a chart that represents the strategies you really want to focus on during this term, okay? And that's why you're going to read this very short text. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this. And I think well, we could stop it here. I just want to show you again. Stop sharing this, but anyways, just one minute. Hold on. Let's try to find out. Able to see it there? I'm Googling something. Yeah. Let's say flashcards. I'm sure there must be well, you have here one alternative, It could work. You just need to explore it by your own. Flashcards with sound. Here you have. I guess it works. It's an application. You could go to YouTube and find one, one presentation that refers to using these video flashcards, creating flashcards, like a professional. Well, you just need to surf the net, but I'm sure you will find it. Or you could do it in the old traditional way. Record yourself with your mobile phone. Try to link the file with sound using PowerPoint slides. Remember that you can record yourself with PowerPoint. Well, there are plenty of options. You just need to be, well, not creative, but you just need to follow your own style. Okay. Well, we need to stop. You know why? Just because I have another class. But well, I think it was enough. Yeah, I'm still checking a couple of folders. I'm still checking your previous homework, but you do have homework for the next week. So well, I guess it's time for your questions. Okay, does anybody have a question?
I do.
Yeah,
I just want to do a quick recap on the homework. We have 7 homeworks. We have vocabulary, we have journal, we have 10 words with tra, 15 flashcards, the summary of task-based strategies, the chart of organizing your language, and the 8th one, I'm not sure about this one, is the IPA definition. Should we do that one?
The International Phonetic Alphabet?
Yeah, the definition on the presentation on the second or third slide, you said something about it. Should do that one. It was saying something like doing it pairs. I'm not sure about that one.
But you have already done it. I was checking your folders and you have already defined
Okay, so
phonetic alphabet.
that one is a no-go. So we have 7 homework, right?
Well, yeah, but remember, I just want this to be discussed. Your vocabulary chart, your journal, and the dynamics in class are gonna be a permanent task every single week. That's something we agreed on. Then the other pieces of homework, very straightforward. You know, they are not really demanding. It's just about researching and investigating. But if at any moment you guys find it very difficult to accomplish that, well, you can send me an email and we'll reach agreement, okay? Because I'm open to dialogue, to negotiation. But if I ask you to do something, it's because I think it might be relevant for your training, you know? That was a very good summary of homework, Alfredo. But if you have suggestions or recommendations, you know that you can send me an email and I'm checking it constantly, you know, and I will answer to you and we can have a dialogue. Thank you for the summary.
Another thing, I don't think we have any issues with the homework. It's just like for me at least, I kind of have these empty weekends. So if we have to do all this stuff for Thursday, you say you check it on Thursday. I don't think we have enough time for it. Maybe if you could check it on Monday, we would have a lot of more time. I don't know if you have the time for it, of course, but I'm just saying that weekends is more useful for us to do more homework.
Yeah, I think I understand that, you know. And I was thinking of that, you know, because one of your classmates, I think she's not here, Patricia, Patricia Diaz. Well, Patricia sent me an email on Saturday. You know, of course, on Saturday I was, you know, at a party. I was in a different context, but I said, yeah, well, Pat, you're right, Patricia. You know, she said I didn't have time to do it on Thursday, but I did it on Friday. I don't know if you have any problem. I said, no, I don't have any problem. You know, thank you for letting me know. I will check it on Monday, not today because today is Saturday, but I will check it on Monday. I promise. And she said, okay, thank you. You know, it's because I had a bunch of homework to get through from other learning experiences. And I think this is something we can change, Alfredo. You're right. But just let me think about it. And I will send you an email on Thursday. Okay. And I will say, okay, you know what? I think you're right. You can deliver this until Monday and I will change my schedule. Okay. But just wait for me. Somebody else wants to participate? Atsiri Juarez Nava. Atsiri, you there? Atsiri, you raising your hand? No? Oh, I don't know what. I did something, but I don't know what. I did something here. Atsiri, can you hear me? Okay. No, we can't hear you, but you can write it there. We can read you. Yeah, we can read from you. Type it. Oh, I'm sorry. I have another class at 10 o'clock. I need to go. I'm so sorry. Just one more minute. No, well. No, Atsiri, we can't hear you. Deduction and logic. No, not really. You know, that was just an activity for the presentation. Remember, I was born in, my name is, no, that was an activity for for the presentation, not for homework. No, not for homework. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. Don't be sad. Come on, cheer up, you all. You're very energetic people. We are doing very well. That's what I think. Come on. Let's keep on working. Keep up the good rhythm. Well, thank you very much, guys. I need to go. Yeah, I need to go. I have another session. But you can send me an email, okay? Or you can call me. Remember, if you call me, I will answer my mobile phone.
Yeah, we're all set. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
We keep in touch, okay? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Rosario.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you around.